Okay, so now that I've shown you all the ins and outs of your basic typography editing features, we're going to have a little more fun with type by exploring some more features in the envelope. And you're going to create your own envelope poster for me. So here in Illustrator, I'm going to go to File and Open. I've navigated out to my Chapter 8 and 8.1 Envelope DMAD poster. And this is the basic layout of the poster. So what I want you to do is simulate the look of a psychedelic rock 60s poster. You can go to Google, type in psychedelic rock poster art. And basically, the three main things in those psychedelic rock posters is they always have at least one figure. The type is always warped. And the colors are simple, maybe 3 colors at the most. Okay, orange and purple and green, or blue and magenta and white. Simple colors. So go out to Google, type in psychedelic, PSYCHE, psychedelic rock posters, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I'm going to do is feel free to change the colors on these to whatever you want. So maybe I want my background, I'll take my eyedropper and sample orange, and I'll lock it. I'll take my black arrow and click where the figure was, and maybe I want that figure to be kind of a purple. I don't want the figure standing right in the center of my composition, so I might put that figure down in the lower left. I'll take my free transform. I'm going to hold shift and blow it up a little bit more. Maybe like that. And I don't like this skinny little hint of orange there, so I might put the figure just off the edge right there. Okay, I'm going to clean up the outside later. I will lock the figure. The main thing is lock your layers when you're done, because all your work has to be done on the top layer. You have to do your work on your text layer. So what I want it to say is DMAD 181 right across the top. And I'm going to zoom in on this. And you'll notice what I did for this poster is I put every block as its own block of type. 181 is its own intro, 2, block, block, block. Every block gets its own shape. You can't put these 4 into one shape. Won't work. Can't put these 2 into one shape. Okay? A shape, a shape, a shape, a shape, a shape, a shape. Every line gets its own shape. So on the top layer, I'm going to hit D for default colors. And I'm going to draw a little curved shape over here at the top. Okay, so with my pen tool, I'll get rid of the white fill by hitting the question mark key. I'm going to make sure I don't have any smart guides turned on up here. No check marks next to my view menu. That's good. And I want my type to kind of go DMAD 181. Okay. I'll type in with Chris Nielsen and then intro to computer. So I want to leave a little space up here. So I'm going to draw my shape right here. I'm going to start right here. And here's the goal. You want to click and drag at every single anchor point. Okay, do not just click. That's what's going to screw this up. So first, I don't like green anchor points. They're kind of hard to see. So to the right of the text layer, I'm going to double click and I'm going to make those like a medium blue, just so they're dark anchor points so I can see them. I'm going to click and drag up. Then I'm going to dip way down here and drag down. Option key for a corner, I'll click and drag. Now I let go, click and drag. Option key for a corner, click and drag. Click and drag. Option key for a corner, click and drag. And when I get to the end, Option key, click and drag. You need these direction lines. The other thing is keep your shapes more in a simplistic rectangular format. Don't do a shape like this because nothing will work. Okay, if I selected that, shift click the word DMAD and said object, envelope, make with top object, nobody's going to be able to read that. Okay, so don't do crazy shapes that will just not work. They'll destroy your work. Okay, keep your shape simple, rectangular based. So this shape is for DMAD. Now that's kind of small, so I'm going to pull these anchor points over with my white arrow right there. And then I'll do another shape for 181. So kind of right next to that, click and drag down right to there. Option key for a corner, I'll click and drag down. Option key for a corner, and then I'll click and drag up. Option key for a corner, and option key to end. And I'm not going to spend my time drawing all the shapes. I kind of want to see how they work as I go. But technically you could just draw them up, but you're not going to see what's happening until you fill them. So I'm going to select this shape, shift click DMAD, and go to Object, Envelope, Distort, Make with Top Object. I click on this shape, shift click 181, Object, Envelope, Distort, Make with Top Object. I kind of like what's going on there, but I don't like the spacing between DMAD and 181. So I can take my white arrow and just pull these anchor points apart a little bit more. Right there. There we go. Now it's DMAD 181. Let's do a little bit more. So intro to computer graphics. That's going to be 4 separate shapes. Okay, D for default colors. I'll click on my white and hit the question mark key. I want to say like intro to and then computer graphics. So I'll do a little shape right here. Click and drag each time. Option key for a corner. Click and drag. Option key for a corner. Then click and drag. Option key for a corner. Option key to close. That'll be for the word intro. I'll do another shape right here. And let's go right there. I'll make it a little smaller because it's only 2 letters, the word to. Option key for a corner. Option key for a corner. Option key for a corner. Option key to close. And we'll put the word computer right here. So click and drag, click and drag. Option for a corner, drag. Option for a corner and drag. Option for a corner and option to close. Intro to computer, and then we'll have the word graphics. So I'll do 3 points, kind of make this wavy line right there. Option for a corner and drag. Option, drag, drag. Option for a corner and option to close. And then I'll try these. Select, shift click, object, envelope, make with top object. Click, shift click. I'll repeat those steps. Envelope, make with top object. Click, shift click, object, envelope, make with top object. Click, shift click, object, envelope, make with top object. Okay, now I want to experiment and change the look of that type a little bit. Like you can definitely see on the word intro, the I and the N are kind of getting squished right there. So with your white arrow, you can click on the edge of a shape. And the reason why these are getting squished is because I didn't drag a long enough direction line. So I might pull this one a little shorter and this one a little longer. Right there. Click here, pull this one. See how the letters are kind of slanting to the right? So I pull this to the right and I straighten them out. There we go. The word to looks like it's falling to the left. That's because this one was long and this one was really short. So I'm going to push that to the right, pull this to the right, and kind of stand it up a little more. The word computer, the M is really falling backwards, and that's because This one pushes them to the left. This one barely pushes. So again, it's about finding a balance between those direction lines. So I can pull this one back to the right a little more. You see how my type started to move? Pull this one to the right, and notice how the M now sits upright. Okay, there we go. Intro to computer graphics. That one looks pretty good. I just don't like the R, so we'll pull this back a little bit. This direction line, maybe pull this one to the right. There we go. All right, so this is looking good, and that's all I'm gonna do to get you started. Okay, you do the rest. Like I saved this space for with Chris Nielsen. We're doing Photoshop, Illustrator, photography, graphic design. You can put type right on top of the figure, but what I've had people do in the past is they try to do vertical. Okay, you cannot do this, and I'm going to draw it just to show you. D for default colors, no fill. You cannot, let's say I wanted to write the word Photoshop here. You can't do a skinny box like this. Okay, I'll draw one anyway, just so you can see it. Like that. Okay, and I'll hit D so you can see. You can't draw a box like that. Because if I click and shift click the word Photoshop, it's going to try to squeeze it into that box like this. And of course, nobody's going to be able to read that. So if you ever want to do a shape, if your word is horizontal, do your shape horizontal. Okay, if I wanted the word in here, I could draw my shape like this. I'll draw it according to what I want it to be. So let's hold Option and drag, Option and drag, Option and drag. Okay, then I'm going to rotate this shape. There's my rotate tool. I'll rotate it sideways because my word is sideways. Click, shift click, object, envelope, make with top object. Okay, my white arrow is my editing tool, so I can click on that edge, pull the direction line over so the word reads more upright. Pull this one so my letters read upright. There we go. Now I take my black arrow and rotate the entire box. Like that. That's how you can get it to fit. Okay, so it can say with Chris Nielsen, Photoshop, Illustrator, photography, graphic design, whatever you want to do. Okay, once you get all your type done, then you can start experimenting with color. So if my character is in purple, maybe I want the title to really stand out. I don't want to do all my type in black type. So I can select DMAD 181, go to Object menu, Envelope Distort, where is it there? Edit Contents, that's my type. I'll take my eyedropper and click on the purple. So I have same purple type. Okay. Take my black arrow. Now I'm going to make a copy of that type. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make that type black for a second. Let's put it back to black. We'll make that as a drop shadow for my type. Okay, with my black arrow, I'm going to hold Option key for a copy and just slightly drag a copy up, holding Option the whole time. There's a copy. Now I will make that copy purple. There we go. Okay, and I can use my arrow keys just to nudge that over to the left a little bit. Give it kind of a drop shadowed look like that. And whenever I'm done, Object, Envelope, Edit Envelope. So now I'm back to my shapes. And maybe I want this type to stand out. The title is in purple. Maybe the name of the class, Intro to Computer Graphics, might be white type with a purple shadow. So I'm going to click, shift click, shift click, shift click, Object, Envelope, Edit Contents, and I'll sample this purple. Take my black arrow, hold Option for a copy, and just drag a copy up and to the left a little bit. Now I've got another copy sitting on top, and that type, There's the fill. I'll fill it white. Cool. I kind of like that. Object, envelope, edit envelope. So now I'm back to my shapes. And then I would do the rest of the type. You know, if you have kind of a psychedelic look to this, you can go to your symbols panel. And in the bottom left corner is a symbols library. I can come down to retro. And we've got kind of this psychedelic 60s kind of stuff. So I could put the lips, I'll click. There's a lamp. And there's a cool little bus. And we'll close that because now they're saved on my symbols. And I'll click here and come down to flowers, you know, 60s, flower power. So I'll put a little daisy in there. All right. Now with my black arrow, I can just drag that daisy and maybe drop it in the A right there. Okay, here's my free transform. I click the top button, which means don't distort my artwork. And now I could just drag it. Now with the black arrow, I can just move it back in right there. Make it kind of psychedelic. I could take these lips. I don't know why I'm doing this, but okay. We'll drag it right there. And maybe we'll put that down there. You know, just kind of fill up some space in the composition. There we go. It's a happy class to go to. There you go. So you can use whatever you want. It's your poster. Okay, I'm going to click on the bottom layer. I'll make another brand new layer, and I'm going to call this layer Sun Rays. D for default colors, and then with my pen tool, I'm going to make a really long triangle. I'm going to start right here in the middle. Okay, let me zoom out first. So I make a really long triangle. Click, 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 back to the start. Okay, like that. We'll take that, get rid of the black, so I'll hit the question mark key. And now I can select this with my black arrow, click once on my rotate tool, and then somewhere underneath that point, I'm going to hold my option key and click. Now I can type in an angle, let's say 10 degrees. Okay, preview that. I want more, let's say 5 degrees. That'll be good. Copy at 5 degrees. And now if I hold down the command key the whole time, and now I also hold down D, Command D, duplicate every 5 degrees. Command D, Command D, Command D. So make a little burst of color like that. Okay, I want to select all these white shapes. So right over here to the right is a target. I can click that. It selects all of them. And I don't want them coming out from the very middle of the poster. I want them kind of radiating from the teacher's head. Like all this wonderful knowledge from my brain. So I'm going to click right there on the target. Move this center up right behind my head right there. There we go. So it's all radiating from the power of the teacher. And now I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to distort it right here. Effect. But actually, I don't want to do that. Here's the reason. Okay, if you use an effect after you have clicked this, the end result will not work. Okay, so what I have to do is hand select those. This is really important. I'm going to lock all my other layers so I can select these by hand. Okay, all the other layers are locked, so I can just click and drag. Really, really important. Select them by hand. Now I go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and we'll do Twist. I'm going to turn on the preview, press and hold down on the up arrow, and we'll just get this to kind of bend a little bit like that, kind of psychedelic. Maybe a little less. There we go. click OK, and now I've got that kind of a look to my design. Okay, again, I'm going to select it all by hand, and I'm going to lower the opacity so it's not so bright. So under transparency panel, it's 100% solid white. So I'm going to knock this down maybe to around 40%, just so it's subtle. There we go, nice soft effect back there. And again, once I have done all my graphics, all my type, I unlock all my layers when I'm done. I'm going to click on the bottom layer, poster background, that big orange shape, the size of my poster basically. And I'm going to click the pop-up on my layers panel. I am going to duplicate the bottom layer, the poster background. Duplicate. All I have to do is pull this copy all the way to the top, the thin blue line, because I'm reshuffling my layers. And again, with everything unlocked, Command A for select all, object menu, clipping mask, make. And there is my final poster. So what I want you, as my crack squad of graphic designers, is to create a poster for this class. DMAD 181. Make it look interesting. Make people go, wow, that is so trippy, dude. I want to take that class, man. Even if they talk like this, okay? Create a cool poster for me with the type that I have provided. And yes, all that type has to go on the poster. I don't care what color, I don't care what font, I don't care what size, but it has to go somewhere on the poster, and that's what you're going to turn into me. So I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing because this is a project for you to do. Come up with whatever graphics you want. If you're not sure what the symbols have, click the bottom left, start clicking through these, see what's in there. But be creative. Make my class look exciting. Hopefully I've done a good job, made you excited about the class. So make other people excited about it. And I'm curious to see what you come up with. So good luck.